Hello, ladies and gents, it's Hagbard Celine here on this beautiful Monday afternoon, and while I was looking through to find an interesting video, somewhat short, on feminism, I actually just managed to establish a creepy pattern. Now, it appears as though more and more of the videos that I'm capable of finding online are people doing classwork, people doing schoolwork. And frankly, I don't give a shit how old these kids are. They're all at least high school aged, so I'm not so worried about taunting them or making fun of them. But it's more disturbing than it is funny at this point. Like, I've joked about how it's getting into academia, but it really is just infiltrating our children, all children, at this point, and I find that somewhat disturbing. So I'm going to show you this pattern, try and keep it somewhat brief, but bear with me. Oh, here we go. Personal definitions are always the best.
A feminist is people who hate men. A feminist is a person...
Well, I know that she was being tongue-in-cheek and trying to joke there, but it was an accurate depiction.
...who believes that women and men have equal rights.
Or an egalitarian. I mean, there's that term that isn't gendered, but you think you'd recognize that as supposed feminists, that gendered terms are supposed to be damaging, but, you know, go on.
I like to think of Jennifer Lawrence, because she's a big woman who
You mean she's fat?
likes to eat pizza and doesn't care what people think.
Well, then hopefully it won't hurt her feelings to be called fat, because she's fat.
Feminist is a woman
Oh, dude, nothing here is gonna get you laid, bro.
who feels obligated to profess her love for women's rights.
Feminists are lesbians.
Oh, well, at least he recognizes it's absurd. And that's what I think is funny about this particular video. This is the one that has a couple people, and one girl's even texting, and she's just like, what's feminism? I don't know. Like, why are you bothering me with this crap? But this is clearly college-age kids doing little Vine compilation kind of thing about what their personal definition of feminism is. I have a few of these lined up. This is the new established pattern. I guess once upon a time it was single young women standing in front of cameras and whinging about their belief systems, but since that became too easy to, you know, sit down and decode, I guess they've switched over to a rapid-fire format.
I think feminism is equal rights between men and women, socially and publicly, as well as in the business.
My definition...
Well, I'm glad you cut him off there, because he was going to ramble on, kind of like a black guy getting pulled over trying to sound like he was from Harvard. He works at a fucking convenience store, and I really hope he owns it, because otherwise he probably shouldn't have been shooting that. And by the way, buddy, there's a mirror here, so, yeah.
definition of a feminist is someone who advocates for women's rights and shows
I thought it advocated for equal rights. What happened to that?
gender equality.
What's feminism? I don't know what it is.
Ah, there it is. There's the one. That's my new personal hero. Their friend walks up and goes, tell me what your definition of feminism is. Her answer is, what?
A feminist is someone who believes in women's rights.
Uh-huh. And now we've gotten our definition section. Now, that was just the introduction video to show that this isn't random. This is the new pattern. This is the new thing. Yeah, fuck your goofy intro. Yeah, we get it. Not a whole lot. Mostly you're butthurt about depictions of gender. There's nothing specifically wrong with those depictions inherently.
How do you think the media portrays men and women?
See, here we go. We're going to do another flash around, have a bunch of kids get short interviewed. Oh, why did this happen? Is this like a new way to publicly shame people? Is that what this is? You try and get a bunch of friends to answer questions? And you record. Look at how doe-eyed he is right now. Like, oh fuck, this is going to end up on YouTube.
Men are supposed to be big, buff, strong.
Like, boys
Well, luckily you've never had a problem there.
don't cry, and men are supposed to be strong and tough and not have...
No, it's not that boys don't cry. It's that boys don't cry, like, publicly over bullshit. It's that men are taught not to cry because it's ineffectual. We're taught to solve the problems.
feelings. Men as, like, stronger than women, and women are just, like, dainty little objects.
This is from the same people that don't want abuse charges when they attack their partners because they're so much smaller. Shouldn't the man just take it or just restrain her without a problem? But they're not bigger or stronger than us or anything. That's wrong. People are fucking clinical cases.
Men are supposed to be like...
Ah! What the fuck? You do need feminism.
tough, and then girls are supposed to be emotional.
And as being leaders of the household.
And usually you should.
What the fuck? Men as leaders of that? Is this the 1950s? Do you live in the 1950s? Do you think it's the 1950s? People haven't been living by those stereotypes for quite a long time.
See women portrayed as like the needy housewife or the sex, not sex slave, but like the sex icon. And
I'm gonna call Sargon's Law here. I'm gonna say you're a sexist piece of shit that just learned that you shouldn't treat women like sex objects.
that they use for pretty much just to look pretty.
Yeah, I think that media portray men as strong, independent.
Yes, this is the one where they give her a lot of airtime because she has an accent, and we want to be inclusive.
And on the other hand, they portray women as weak, dependent on men. They even objectify them.
Okay, I don't give a shit about your accent, so I'm going to criticize your point. Men are portrayed quite regularly in the media as dumb oafs, without an intellectual or thought-provoking bone in their body, that need to be guided and parented by their female counterparts. I wonder who instilled that.
And they make the stereotypes that if your body is not the way that models have their body, then you're not good enough. And that
No, that's inside you. They choose pretty models because pretty models sell products. Nobody's considering anything else. Nobody's trying to say if you don't look like a model, then you are less than human. I don't know even where you're getting these ideas.
everything should be about the physical appearance and not the intelligence of women.
Have you ever felt like you had to conform due to your gender?
Not enough it looks like.
Well, I mean, we always have to look pretty or always have to dress up, and when you don't, people always ask me if I'm tired or if I don't feel well. Like, if I'm
You should work on your posture first and foremost and a little bit of confidence. That's the more attractive thing. I'm not worried about your makeup or your clothes. Sit upright, put your shoulders back, speak with some authority, speak with some confidence. Why is that so hard?
I want to go into the military, then, like, people look at me like, oh, that's not made for you. You're not manly enough, you're not strong enough, you don't have the leadership.
I'm just speaking frankly, I don't think you'll pass PT. My stepbrother was a little bit thinner than you and still failed PT because, well, yeah, I mean, they make you run like fuck. They beat the shit out of you. I mean, you're welcome to join. I mean, it's not like the army actually won't let you in. You do know that, right? Like, people's opinions don't matter.
Capabilities of a man, other than, like, what a woman would have. I guess when I started wearing makeup, like, all the girls in my grade school, like, started wearing makeup, so I felt like I needed to wear makeup.
Well, maybe grade school girls shouldn't be wearing makeup. Maybe we should work more on that than feminism.
When I was growing up, my dad said, "Be a man, don't cry." Like, I've lived by that, I guess.
You're sitting here whinging on a camera. You didn't listen to your dad's advice nearly well enough.
When was the time you felt stereotyped by your gender?
Just like maybe with sports, like they just like they underestimate like how a girl can perform athletically.
No, I've been over this in a previous video. That's not why. There's a reason why there are men's sports and women's sports. They're all the same sports: women's soccer, men's soccer, women's baseball, men's baseball. That's not the point. The point is that if pushed to their athletic peak, men will inherently perform better than women pushed to their athletic peak on average. You may be an outlier, but you don't look like the specimen that could even stand up to this guy.
Taking people on dates, like you're expected to like pay.
That guy needs feminism because he's broke. Oh, fantastic. I mean, I get it, dude. I'm broke too, but you don't need feminism. You need better work.
Alright, I go.
Okay, guys, we gotta witness a unicorn. This is a black man in a Slayer t-shirt. This is special. This is a special moment we need to share, guys. That's a black man in a Slayer t-shirt.
A best friend or something like that. Like, that's taught to you from a young age. Makeup is taught to you from a young age. Not saying nothing's wrong with makeup, do what you do, but it's like, makeup is taught to y'all.
I wonder why. But no, makeup isn't always taught. It has to be taught. It isn't a naturally occurring thing. That's a given. But why was that your focus? That seems so weird. And 10 out of 21, you guys are batting a shit average. I wonder why. I wonder what happened to having tarnish your just beautiful names. Okay. Well, now that we've achieved that, what now? It's not misunderstood. It's perfectly well understood. You just don't like it. Oh, enough of that music. No. I'll let the video run, and I'll wait for the heads to come back, but you don't get to play music for me. Well, no, it's not mistaken for. It's witnessed as man-hating. Don't say it's mistaken for.
Feminism is a good thing.
Yes, I do. I believe that women should be treated equally.
The dude's on camera. What the fuck's he gonna do? Say no? I mean, I will, but most men don't want to be caught on camera saying, feminism's done. We're kind of done with it. We've achieved all of the legal goals you could possibly ask to achieve at this point. You're just being pieces of shit.
Yes, I feel like empowerment is a good thing.
Again, of course.
It's not equal, you know, between men and women,
Well, not an outcome, but you certainly have equal opportunity, dear.
but you know, we need it in this world because there's so many things that need to be fixed, and it's only gonna happen if people believe in it.
Oh, there's the word. If people believe in it. And what needs to be fixed is in your head, dear.
I think feminist is a very good thing.
Possibly back in the country you came from, that is the case. It is distinctly possible that in your country, feminism has a good cause. But you obviously haven't bore witness enough to what's going on in the West to realize that that is not the case.
And I also believe that it's very misunderstood because feminist is not about women being better than men, it's about women being equal to men.
In outcome. No, with the music again, no. Yes, of course, because they're selling products. Don't internalize that. That's your fault. As someone who self-harmed, that's your fault. Get over it. No. No, we don't. The gender stereotypes are pretty well smashed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
See, even he was like, of course, I have to say that.
Yes.
No.
I am a super feminist.
Of course, like I said, probably in your country it's still very necessary. Just a guess, I don't know where the fuck you're from. Let's see, another one? Oh wow, just the exact
Hi.
same format.
My name is Robbie Brown.
Look at this.
Hi, my name.
This is fucking pervasive. This is just, and this is literally on the first search page when I just type the word feminism in, hit enter. This is what's coming up now. I used to find single people. Now you guys are just shotgun affecting this shit.
Miss Hannah.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I
am a feminist.
I wore a pink shirt today to exemplify exactly how much of a feminist I am. I am tearing down gender stereotypes by wearing salmon.
need feminism because being a women gender studies major and being gendered as a man is not acceptable.
You're right, dude. It's not acceptable. It's totally unacceptable. Not for the reasons you think it is, but it's unacceptable because it means you're a deluding, self-hated nutjob.
Because all of the fast food commercials are always geared towards men, and all the health foods commercials are always geared towards women. Which is basically saying that men are allowed to eat whatever they want while women need to keep a slim body.
Allowed, right? Not encouraged, which would even be worse because, you know, men already die younger from all these food and alcohol related diseases. So the fact that food and alcohol commercials that are unhealthy are typically aimed towards men is favoring men. Really? Think about what you're saying. Really think about it. Take that pretty red pill and really think what you're saying. You're saying it encourages. Advertising is an attempt to encourage purchasing. So it encourages women to actually be healthier, and it encourages men to be less healthy. Think again, dearie.
I need feminism because growing up I was told that my bra straps were too distracting for my male teachers and my male classmates.
Those are just dress code policies. Don't make a big goddamn deal about it.
I need feminism because being a women and gender studies major and being gendered as a man.
Listen, being a gender studies major and then always having to say that you're gendered as a man is the problem with your women's studies major, sir.
Is often questioned.
It should be,
ridiculed,
and I will.
and something I should be ashamed of.
You should be ashamed of it.
I need feminism because growing up we were taught that if a boy is mean to you on the playground, that means he likes you.
Wait, you're bringing up the playground? How old are you? What the fuck, people? What the actual fuck are you doing going that far back in your learning to deal with this shit?
Feminism because men are constantly taught in society to be strong, aggressive, and competitive rather than compassionate, caring, and empathetic.
Well, God forbid men be taught to accomplish things, to achieve women's affections. That's terrible. That is fucking awful. I mean, I can see why you might have a problem with it being a gender studies major and likely never being able to achieve anything, but aside from that, I mean, I don't understand the problem here.
I need feminism because I don't want my future children to be ashamed of who they are based off of who they love, how they act, what they wear, and what they believe in.
Well, people are always going to be mocked for what they believe in, first and foremost. It's kind of my bag, sweetheart. It's what we do. But people don't typically, in today's day and age, mock people for any of the above decisions that you're discussing. This is a 60s and 70s issue. By the 80s, it was coming to light. We've pretty much dealt with all that by now. Now we just call those people bigoted, laugh, and move on. Just like I'm calling you guys bigoted, laughing, and moving on.
Feminism because feminism is a gender-biased word, but somehow being human with man in human.
Okay, because mankind once actually did just refer to all people. You guys made that gendered. You do know that, right? You do know the history of these words. No, I'm not doing this again. I have a whole thing about it. You guys should learn your own history of linguistics instead of making it up like conspiracy theorists.
Or history.
History.
With his story in it.
It has nothing to do with the ancient Greek whatsoever, sir. It has absolutely nothing to do with the ancient Greek roots of those words. It has to do with your current English understanding of the word history. His story. Don't you get it? It's all about his story. That is crazy 1970s conspiracy bullshit. Crazy shit.
Is not.
I need feminism because when I was in choir and we needed to lift the bleachers, my teacher would only allow guys to do it, and if a girl raised her hand, she would refuse.
Sounds like you had a sexist female teacher. You need to deal with that. I mean, most female teachers employ the boys because the boys are incredibly eager to help females, but let's not get into that.
I need feminism because my body hair is acceptable, but other women have to shave their armpits, their legs, and other parts of their body just to seem normal.
Yeah, they don't. They truly well and don't. I mean, they can, but many women choose not to and aren't really ridiculed for it. And I know many men that shave their arms, armpits, entire genital regions, chests, back, buttocks to please and attract the attention of women. But for some reason, that's ignored by you, that only a percentage of women even appreciate male body hair, most not so big on it. But, you know, just ignore that portion.
I need feminism because I hate the idea that when a man gets raped by a woman, he's told that he's lucky rather than taken seriously.
Oh, look, they tossed in 1 point. That's 1. In all the videos I've seen so far, you guys have tossed in 1 point. Congratulations.
I need feminism because in my workplace, it is still acceptable for staff to say to students, don't act like a girl.
What? You work at a shitty place if that's the case. Most places wouldn't tolerate that. I mean, at all.
I need feminism because a bunch of men think they have more say over my body than I do.
No, they don't. You're talking specifically about abortion rights, and you're misunderstanding the basis of the issue. I actually agree with you guys that it should be legal and safe abortions, but you are talking about right-wing talking points. And only a very small percentage of people even believe that within most of the Republican Party. So don't be an idiot.
I need feminism because the majority of the
Is it really the same 3 people over and over again? Congratulations, you guys couldn't even pull a big basis.
insults that exist in this world are geared towards the women. If a guy
I need feminism because a man's sexual experience.
Wait, why'd you cut her off?
A man
in this world are
Why'd you cut her off?
I need feminism because the majority of the insults that exist in this world are geared towards the women. If a guy
need feminism.
Oh, I see why you cut her off, because she was talking complete bollocks. That makes sense. She was talking complete shit. Most insults are geared towards women. Okay, you dickhead.
Because a man's sexual experience is glorified, whereas a woman's sexual experience is disgraceful.
Says someone who's clearly never read a romance novel in his entire life, huh? Not big on that female literature, are you, you sexist pig?
Feminism because as a woman I'm told to learn how to defend myself against men rather than have the men learn not to take advantage of me.
You're never going to get 100% compliance on any given law. Teaching people to lock their doors when they leave their house is not shaming someone who gets robbed. Asking whether you locked your door is an investigation procedure. Do you see now? Do you get that now? That it would be best if you could defend yourself against the outlier? Against the 0.02% of men that rape? You know? You might want to be able to protect yourself if you ever find yourself in that situation instead of just laying there and being like, you should have been taught not to rape!
Feminism, because men's representation in movies are all about following their dreams, whereas women's representation in movies are all about falling in love and being with a man, never about their own journey.
You have a very, very small catalog of movies you've seen, huh, sir? Not a big movie buff, are you? You're not big on that. Not to mention, we're going to go right back to the... You do realize that women consume those movies. That's what they want to see. Is that our fault? Is that the world of sexism here? Or is that just women's preferences? Yeah, but women's preferences are brainwashed into them because they're weak-willed and weak-minded, right? Because that's what feminism teaches.
I need feminism because when I obey my boyfriend, I'm obedient, but when he does me favors, he's considered whipped.
What? Again, it's the 1950s in your head, isn't it?
Feminism, because I should not feel insecure about loving the color pink.
Well, no, of course not. It was originally a boy's color that was stolen from you by feminists of the first wave. Did you not know that, sir? That's indeed a boy's color.
I need feminism because there are other women out there that carry other forms of oppression on top of their gender, including their race.
Oh, we're going full intersectional feminist now. Fantastic.
If they're queer, if they are able-bodied, if they are of legal status, all these sorts of oppressions.
That also affect all the men in those situations, but you're just going to ignore that because women have the extra oppression of being women on top of all those other oppressions, because somehow being a woman is an oppressed status, which is a delusion.
That affect their lives.
The next generation of feminists,
Oh,
I stand by
fuck.
the quote.
Oh my god. Balance your audio. Fuck. You just blew my and my audience's ears out because you guys are retarded.
That I once heard that states, I will never stop screaming for feminism until my voice becomes hoarse enough to be mistaken for a man, and maybe then I will be heard.
Yeah, well, don't worry, there are plenty of red-haired feminists out there doing exactly that. Let's see. Do we have another one? Oh, we do! I just wanted to show this one because I think it's so funny. It's another clip together. A bunch of her little friends talk about... But she was apparently using Wondershare Video Editor and left the watermark in. Though she didn't even buy the software, couldn't find a free editing software, wouldn't use YouTube's free editing software. So she made a whole video and posted it with a watermark on it. Adorably technically retarded. Oh, here we go. What is feminism? IDH 2003. What is this feminism thing?
As we were able to experience throughout the course of the semester,
Oh.
women's rights and the fight for equality among genders.
So here we go. Directed. That's a little ambitious. As we've come to learn, this is indeed being just rammed into kids' heads.
Is not a new concept.
No, it's
The
not.
fight for women's rights has existed for centuries in societies across the globe and has gained momentum recently due to social media.
I love it when they speak with hyperbole. For centuries. Like, yeah, you don't really understand how this came to be, do you?
Having to embody a radical feminist living in 18th century France was an experience that opened my eyes and allowed me to dive even further into modern feminism.
You mean ancient feminism. You couldn't have possibly dived further into modern feminism. That doesn't even make sense.
Something that really intrigues me about feminism is the stigma that society has developed over time in regards to the F word.
Again, why is it that you guys have such difficulty understanding that these things exist for a reason?
misconceptions mislead people to believe false definitions, which only hinders the progress of this movement.
That's because the movement's
Due to
over.
the accessibility of information via social media, too many people tend to mindlessly believe everything they read on Facebook.
Or because of the same thing, we tend to be able to use our, intellects and search through these social media sites and search through all of the information that these people are citing and realize that they're all raving lunatics. Sword cuts both ways, you see.
This doesn't help better the reputation feminism holds today.
You're right, keep the nut jobs off of social media and we wouldn't have a whole lot of ammo. But since, your movement's just open to anyone who stands up and says, I'm a feminist, cut all men's balls off, you're still gonna have a problem.
I only hope to disprove these misconceptions and inform people about what feminism is really trying to do.
This ought to be informative.
So,
Oh, poor simpering beta has no idea. Good God, man. Don't answer questions like this. You can barely dress yourself. You have a goofy little weird beard. Oh, don't do this, man.
I guess like to start out by just going. Oh my God! Got that out of the way.
Okay, he's as fucking weird as I thought he was gonna be.
Get that nervousness out. Break the ice. Nice.
It didn't help. You're still clearly shaking with fear about being on camera.
Maybe. So what question do you have for them?
What is your definition of feminism?
All right.
Feminism is equality amongst all genders and
Both genders. Even transgender people are trying to be another gender. They're not trying to be a third gender. That's why they're mad when you call them by other genders. Do you understand the dichotomy there?
doesn't mean that, a woman is above a man and they're equal, and it doesn't mean that we're trying, or feminism is trying to take over a man's place in the world, but
That is exactly what the current leaders in your movement are saying. They're saying that men should step down and put women in their place, regardless of merit, 'cause women. And they should leave 'cause men. You clearly don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
to bring women to that same level that they currently hold in the world.
The way I understand feminism.
Misunderstand. You mean misunderstand feminism.
A current of thought that attempts to take into account the thoughts, feelings, like roles of women in an equal manner, and increase the equality of women within our society, within any society.
How does one increase the equality? Are women more equal than us? Do you not understand that they already have all the legal equality that they could ask for? Whatever they're asking for from now on is literally being more equal than?
That's what I understand feminism to be.
Poor bastard. Yeah, no, that's fine. Now, she says basically that feminism needs education. I want to find the slide. Yeah, it is. But anyway, she literally says that basically without education there can be no feminism. It should say that without re-education there can be no feminism. I have one more here. Oh yeah, this guy, I just want to say, this is actually for a class. Not even trying to cover that. Just totally for a class. Oh, I love when they list stuff like they've accomplished something here.
My name is Michael McMicken, and I am going to speak today on feminism and the wage gap.
You might actually need to learn something about feminism.
Feminism can be used to describe a political, cultural, or economical movement aimed at establishing equal rights and legal protection for women.
Your eyes are too close together, sir.
Feminism involves political and sociological theories and philosophy concerned with issues of gender difference.
Yeah, it did. In the 60s and 70s. No one knows what it's doing now.
For example, the wage gap between men and women is currently that women make 79 cents to every man's dollar.
No one can even seem to get this number right. It's 73, 74, 76, 79, 73. What? Figure it out. What 70 is it? You can't just have it be somewhere in the 70s and then claim that it's a solid fact. This is ridiculous, sir.
It has risen by 2 pennies in recent years, but feminists are still pushing for equality, and rightfully so. Instead of speaking on just recent feminism, I would like to tell a little about its history.
Because to delve into modern feminism would be to enter the abyss. Please go back to the historical things where we have good examples to show, because if you go on right now and look at any hashtag or anything on social media related to feminism, you see the pit of evil. And we can't possibly talk about that on an assignment. That'd be awful.
There are believed to be 3 waves throughout history. The first wave refers to feminist activity throughout the 19th and early 20th century. During this time period, focus was put on equal contract and property rights and the opposition to chattel marriage and ownership.
Wait a second, are you just reading the wiki page here? What are we doing? I just read the wiki page like 2 days ago. This is really familiar. I know this is a class assignment, but your teacher will know. Your teacher will check the wiki page, I assure you. No matter how lazy your community college teacher is, they're checking the wiki page.
Of married women by their husbands. Feminists of this period include Margaret Sanger and Florence Nightingale.
You might want to be worried about quoting anything Margaret Sanger ever said ever. I'm just saying. Be wary, read a book, and maybe don't quote Margaret Sanger.
And Florence Nightingale established female nurses as adjuncts to the military. The second wave of feminism refers to the early 1960s through the late 1980s.
No, I just really wanted to show that this guy's sitting here reading his report like the other one I found. Of course, the fact that this one's a guy makes it so I can make jokes about him and no one gets butthurt. Interesting, isn't it, ladies? As it is, I'm trying to make this just short enough to post on my page without resetting it, so wish me luck. And I will catch you guys on Wednesday.